As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the red Zerg player, the Australian Zerg. It is RaGnaR. So yeah, was that Platinum Heroes patches? Yes, yes. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Lemon. Here we go. Hello, Lemon. As Lemon, he does veer off towards the left-hand side, and you know, for a moment, I thought we were going to take a break from all the proxies and all the shenanigans and all the nonsense from what the hell just happened in MJG versus patches. But no, the nonsense continues as Lemon does commit here to the proxy pylon, does commit into the proxy gateways. And are we going for a flower? Like, are we going for a 4-gate? Remember, there's no gases back at home. How many gates? 1, 2, 3. Almost there. Give us 4. The flower is upon us. Let's go. It's been a very long time since I've seen like a pro player do this. Very long time. As there we go, the flower is here. The 4 gates. Someone call up Coco. Someone. No. So it's going to be a 1-base 4-gate all-in out of Lemon. Meanwhile, RaGnaR is going to be opening up with an earlier pool, so pool into hatchery. So a bit of a safer build here by RaGnaR, going for a delayed expansion. With this, it means early queens, early link production is going to be available, and we'll see if RaGnaR can get a read on what's going on. The Overlord is still on the way. The second Overlord position here is a little bit awkward. Oh, we're moving out of position. So for those that are curious, it is very common for the first Overlord to be sent across the map, for the second Overlord to be kept at home to get eyes on a cannon rush. To get eyes on a cannon rush or any kind of early game shenanigans, this second Overlord is out of position. Is out of position here, so RaGnaR, he will see nothing. As the Zealots are walking in, and there is no heads up here. Again, the Overlord should be here in position. Backing up those Zealots. They're moving forward. Behind this, RaGnaR does go for a delayed gas. Queen pops out, but no Zerglings. Yeah, no Zerglings. As we're making 4 Zealots at a time. We have the flower, we have the 4-leaf clover, Pappy. Yeah, Zealots take it into the mineral line. Crucial here, the Lemon doesn't get surrounded. As we circle with his control. At the same time, RaGnaR wants to bait the army further into the mineral line. Oh no! Lings do pop out. And again, we attempt the surround. Nice position here out of Lemon. It does pull away, does avoid the surround. He kites back, and it takes care of so many Lings and so many drones. There's going to be 6 drones going down, and this is becoming too much. It's getting out of hand. Now, at this point, there are far too many Zealots. The main base has been broken. Now the boys are being pulled. Now we're up to 2 queens, but that is critical damage. Up to 14, 15 drone kills. Still not done. Takes out every single drone. 0 drones remaining. Yeah, down to 0 drones. And sure, we have 3 queens, but the damage has been done as we can just keep rallying. Remember, Lemon, he has an economy. He can just keep producing, keep rallying, and RaGnaR cannot. As RaGnaR has no money to make a drone. So 0 income. As they'll take a collapse in. And again, we're down to our 2 queens. Oh no. They can only kite for so long as the final queens that get surrounded. GG gets called and Lemon takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Lemon takes the lead in the series, and again, a very chaotic game 1 here, going for the proxy 4-gate. Somewhere out there, Coconut has just woken up. Like, there's a flower happening out there in competitive play. Let's go. Let's go. As we're not getting into game number 2. This build was a throwback. It is. Like, it's been a very long time since we've seen a proxy 4-gate. Especially in ZVP. But let's go. Let us go as we're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Australian Protoss, so sorry, the Australian Zerg player with the Australian Zerg. We have the pink Zerg going for the 12 pool. It is RaGnaR. Going for the 12 pool, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Lemon. This time Lemon is setting up back at home, and meanwhile RaGnaR is going for the initial 12 pool. Now we'll see if this is going to be a 12 pool drone pool or something more committed. Ooh, as we're going for the extractor trick, there is going to be no proxy hatchery. Interesting. So there's no proxy hatchery set up here to disrupt the wall, but we could still pull the boys. Now what's going to be terrifying here is whether or not Lemon does scout this at a time with his probe scouts, as he should be moving out across the map soon. Oh, blind 2-gate opener. Jesus. That's unfortunate. So 2-gate opener out of Lemon, very aggressive starts, and with that it does mean that his cyber core is going to be delayed. So he's going to, and I should say cyber core delayed. His Nexus is going to be a little bit later here in favor of the extra gateway. And with this can lead into early adept aggression. Like, this can get quite out of hand. And the scary thing here is that we had a 12 pool, but we're not doing anything with it. Yeah, 12 pool expand and no link production here. So RaGnaR is going to have a subpar economy, and he's going to have late link speed. Like, that's the biggest downside here, and then the biggest scary thing about going for a 12 pool like this is your gases are so late, your link speed is heavily delayed, and that means that these adepts, there's nothing to be scared of. Like, they can just go to town. Here we go, we're making 2 adepts at a time. It should be 2 and then 4 adepts. RaGnaR, he didn't the Overlord. Where's the Overlord? RaGnaR, he should have his first Overlord here to scout this, but he sent his Overlords to check for proxies. Ooh, this is a reaction. This is a response to what happened early on in game 1. Because RaGnaR, because those are proxy 4-gate, he's overreacting and over responding to that, overcompensating. So he's unaware as to what's coming his way. Again, there's no expansion. Like, there's no expansion. We have adepts, we have stalkers. Lemon, he scouted how late the expansion was. And again, there's no link speed. Link speed just now starting here at 3 minutes. Meanwhile, big shout out to Jeff Bezos in the chat for the 100 gas. Sorry for the 100 gas. my mind right now is on the gas income. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. 100 bits back. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. As reps, they can kite well here. Yeah, they kite well. They bully the Lings. Lings, they chase off of creep. The aggression continues, getting a 3rd gateway here in the face of RaGnaR. And again, it was just a really rough early game. Just really rough early game here when it came to the build of choice and also when it came to the follow-up scouting. Adepts, they shed into the main. Drones are being one-shots. Okay, getting 4, 5, 6 drone kills. This is already critical damage. Ay, ay, ay. And technically, this is a 1-base 4-gate all-in, but not the same build. Like, we didn't get there the same way. Again, it was initially the 2-gate opener. And Lemon, he saw an opening. Saw an opening to just keep on pushing. Lings, they attempt to surround. Stalkers, they kite well back to the ramp. Reducing service area. And all these things that will fall. Oh god, as we can just keep going. They just keep kiting back. Crazy SimCity. And GG gets called. RaGnaR has been broken, and Lemon will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, just a really unfortunate start. It did feel like game 1 did influence game 2 quite heavily here, where because in game 1 we had the proxy 4-gate, here in game 2, RaGnaR, he had sent both his overlords to scout for proxies, whereas typically that is unnecessary and typically that hurts you. So because of that, he was unable to confirm whether or not it was a standard opener or a more aggressive opener across the map. It was 2 gates leading into a 1-base all-in, and again, RaGnaR was working with incomplete information. On top of that, did open up with a 12 pool, but didn't really commit into any kind of aggression, so set himself behind with the opener as well. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. Going to be loading into game number 4. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Oh boy. We'll see if the aggression does continue. We'll see. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the pink Zerg player. We have the pink Zerg player himself. We have the Australian Zerg. Sorry, what? In my brain. Sorry, we have the Australian Zerg, but switching to Protoss here. Okay, pink Protoss player instead. It is RaGnaR. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss. We have the blue Protoss. Once again, going for the proxy. It is Lemon. Here we go. So this time we have a PvP. Okay, RaGnaR does switch to Protoss, and we'll see how this does unfold here. Now, when it comes to PvP, we should be seeing a probe scout. We should be seeing a probe scout out of RaGnaR to confirm the lack of pylon. We should be seeing that soon after the initial gateway setup. Meanwhile, Lemon is already proxying across the map, going for the proxy to gates. Gateways have been thrown down. We have our opener back at home. Yeah, the opener here is a little bit messy for RaGnaR. And on top of that, I don't see a probe scout, so I'm a little bit concerned here. Lack of probe scouts means lack of information. He's not fully aware as to what's going on. As again, there is no pylon, or I guess there's a second pylon here back at home. But this is a bit of a messier build as we took our gases a little bit too soon. Okay, prioritizing gases, Jesus. Pulling in. Zelts are on the way. And we'll see how we get into this. As again, because of the opener, because of the earlier gateway here, we're not able to make use of it. So, very messy opener out of RaGnaR. Lemon is moving in. That first pylon here is going to be the target, and we'll see if we can depower everything. There's no warp gate, there's no cybercore, of course. Oh boy. Oh boy. Can we save the pylon, Pappy? Can we save it? Zelts gets spotted. He knows. RaGnaR, he scouts, he's aware. And he does try to fully wall off, tries to reduce the surface area. And again, the Zelts have arrived. We have Stalkers behind this, and that pylon is going to go down. Oof. Yeah, all the gateways get depowered. There's nothing here. There's nothing left. I mean, we're able to repower the gateways at least, thankfully. But the Stalkers are rallying in. Stalkers are rallying in. They focus on both pylons. The third pylon is going to go down as well. There are at least a couple of Zelts to defend. The boys are being pulled. RaGnaR, he attempts to surround, but Lemon can just kite. He just kite back, just has to avoid that surround. Picking off the probes, one after the other. It does pick off the workers. And RaGnaR has no production. Like, there's just no production here. There's nothing to defend. He's working on warp gates. But these gateways are never going to repower. Yeah, it's never going to happen. GG gets called. Lemon, he will claim the series 3-1. He will advance on into the, I believe, round of 16. GG. 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 Congratulations here to Lemon as it does claim the series, does advance on. Shout out to RaGnaR, of course, for taking part, for competing. A bit of a messier final game here, but definitely in the last couple of games we did see like potential, I would say. Some quirky builds out of Lemon. Unfortunately, a big boon there for RaGnaR was just lack of information, lack of scouting, lack of overlord positioning specifically. It's something that is sometimes overlooked at like higher levels, but your overlord, your initial overlord scouting and positioning is crucial to be able to get away and to be able to respond and to be able to defend against some early aggression with your first and second overlord placements. So again, that did mean that RaGnaR was playing blind for the most part and had very little time to react to what Lemon was doing. GG. GG, well played. But otherwise, congratulations here to Lemon. And with that, that is going to be us wrapping up our broadcast for the morning, specifically, just because we do have another broadcast this evening. As you can see here, we have the brackets. We just wrapped up with 6 best of 5s. It's a lot of best of 5s. A lot of best of 5s here. winding it back, if you recall, we did begin the broadcast with Mute versus Defiance. Mute did take down Defiance 3-0 to advance on into the round of 16, where he faced off against Rebellion. Mute and Rebellion, they went all the way to the ace match, and Mute, he barely beat Rebellion 3-2. I highly recommend checking out the VODs, as it was a very intense back and forth PvP that led us into Eon versus Mini Zerg, which was also very intense, a bit of a shorter series. Mini Zerg did take down Eon 3-0. Very impressive performance there by the young up-and-comer. Mini Zerg, of course, he is an 18-year-old Ukrainian Zerg player and has been looking really good over the past couple of months, has been improving quite quickly. That led into Creature versus Hatsul. Creature did take down Hatsul 3-0, with Hatsul being hyper aggressive and hyper cheesy all 3 games, and that aggression failing. That was the game where Creature went down to 5 probes. He went down to 5 probes, and he was able to have a crazy comeback against a 15 drone Zerg player. 5 probes, that's all you need. That's all you need, Pappy. That's all you need. So Creature had a crazy comeback there. We then had Patches versus MJG, which was nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Non-stop 1 base all-ins out of both Patches and MJG. It was crazy, but it was crazy. In the end, MJG barely beat Patches 3-2, and then we had Lemon taking down RaGnaR 3-1 to round out the broadcast. Also with non-stop cheese and non-stop aggression, we had a lot of all-ins tonight. A lot of all-ins, a lot of cheese. Meanwhile, when it comes to the bracket itself, that concludes day 1 of this tournament. We still have Sebestis versus Hydra into Shameless, a lot of PvPs. Honmono versus Hackers Top, that'll be a lot of fun. That's also 2 just apes at each other. It's going to be amazing. We have Mini Zerg versus Inexorable. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. That's going to be an exciting ZVT. We then have MiniVK versus Demi into Young Yakov. We then have Creature versus Jumi in a PvP, and MJG versus Ledlix in a PvP as well. A lot of PvPs, a lot of mirror matchups. That's what we expect for a lot of these online tournaments, but hopefully we're able to get some nice diversity coming into the quarterfinals. When it comes to this event, it should be lasting around 2 months. Around 2 months time, we just covered day 1, and we might cover day 2, or it might go the way of another one of these casters. The way that this works, OSC, they get in contact with ourselves, Chicken Man, Dave Testa, Steadfast, Wardy, and they usually rotate casters. So we cast day 1, maybe Steadfast cast day 2, maybe Chicken Man cast day 3, Wardy day 4, Dave Testa day 5, that sort of thing. So usually OSC, they rotate depending on who's available and who wants to cast. So we'll see. We might cast again next week, or maybe not. So hard to say. Hard to say, but regardless, GG well played. With that, we're going to be wrapping up for the morning. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, you can see here, we're here on Tuesday. We're here Tuesday morning. We do have RaGnaR Cup later on tonight. RaGnaR Cup Playoffs Day 1 is going to be later on this evening. That's going to be 2 best-of-5s, I believe. 2 best-of-5s with Solar, Showtime. Who else is playing? Let me just double check. It's going to be Solar versus Classic and Hero versus Showtime. That's it. So 2 best-of-5s. 2 best-of-5s. That is going to be this evening. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with RaGnaR Cup Day 2. We have a PvZ Cup tomorrow morning as well. I'm a little bit tentative on that one. I do apologize. We've been missing like 3 or 4 PvZ Cups, but there's just been other things that have been taking up our time. We have the podcast on Thursday, and we have Friday off. The reasoning for that is because, and same with Thursday morning off as well, we have had our bunnies have had a lot of medical issues here in January. That's why we've been casting a lot less. We've barely been casting in January. I do apologize for that. And one of our bunnies is having an operation on Thursday, so we're going to be going and dropping the bunny off at the vets Thursday morning and picking her up on Friday. And hopefully everything will go well. Hopefully everything will go well, and there's going to be a recovery process. That's also why over the weekend we only have 1 cast for each day. We're going to be taking it slow, taking it easy, and there's going to be less casting over the next couple of weeks. Usually there's like a 10 to 14 day like recovery period, and I have to be there for my pet bunnies. I have to be there for them, to make sure they're okay, to make sure they're eating, to make sure they're taken care and there's nothing going wrong. So it's going to be a bit of an intense couple of, it's been an intense month, and we'll be able to get back into proper casting coming into like second half of February, coming into March. Like February, March, we should be able to go back to our regular casting schedule. Again, I do apologize for us having a very lean and a very light schedule over the past month in January, but just because there've been, again, a lot of things happening IRL and just haven't had the time to cast, unfortunately. Also, as a bit of a PSA, this leads into this weekend, Home Story Cup this weekend. Home Story Cup is this weekend, and we have been the B stream for Home Story Cup for the past like 5 editions, for the past couple of years. But because of the operation, because of what's happening over, on Friday, I will not be able to cast. I will not be able to cast Home Story Cup. So I do apologize. For the first time in years, we will not be a part of Home Story Cup. Just, yeah, to have other priorities, won't be available. So unfortunately, we will not be casting Home Story Cup. We may be able to cast it via replays after the fact, like maybe in March. We'll catch up on replays, but we won't be able to cast it live. So no live casting for Home Story Cup. Do apologize. But again, just other things have been going on. MJG patches was amazing. It was a clown fiesta, baby, clown fiesta. But this is our current weekly schedule. Again, subject to change. Might change a little bit, but for the most part, this should be our schedule. There's a chance that maybe over the weekend we just cut casting completely, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we're going to be heading off for the morning. We're going to be back in around 5 hours. We're going to be back in 5 hours time. So I've got 5 hours to get some breakfast, get some food, get things ready for the next cast. In 5 hours, going to be back with RaGnaR Cup playoffs. As I mentioned before, it's going to be Solar versus Classic and Showtime versus Hero. We'll see you later tonight. We will see you later tonight. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time. Oh. And also, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. True. You can do so via Patreon. Oh, good. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat, exclamation mark YouTube for the VODs. And you can also help donate if you wish to help us out when it comes to vet costs. You can see the donation goal just under me if you wish. But otherwise, it's all good. Otherwise, it's okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.